follow them, write to them on their DMs or on the place that they have put that content, comment and really very nicely appreciate, like I even previously mentioned. And make sure that whenever you are putting out something on the internet, and if your opinions are not aligned with the other person, and you are let's say in talking in a place that could be potentially seen or known, filter your words very correctly. Do not say something that can retaliate to you, whenever in life. For example, if you have a critique, if you want to criticize, there is a way to do that. You appreciate first and then point your POV. Just don't put that out in the world just like that. And trust me, this world is small, media world is small. And the reason why I'm going on saying that is because it's not just my personal experience for myself, but everywhere I have seen that in some or the other way, coincidentally, you will find somebody who's done something and will resonate back to you because of your social media. It's super important the way you brand yourself on social media. Other thing is on LinkedIn. Now, a lot of times I see people, LinkedIn profile to bana liya, but what is the gravitas of that profile? Like, why should I even bother looking at your profile if you've applied? There should be something that is there for me, right, as a recruiter. So make sure, first of all, please don't put mirror selfies as your DP on LinkedIn. Please, it's really stupid. Second, make sure that your there are like these certain things that you can add as a badge on LinkedIn, which is about open for new jobs or open for connecting and few more. So if in case you're looking out actively, put that badge on so that the recruiter knows that you are very actively looking and interested in the job profile that you're applying for. Third, make sure that even if you've done very few achieved very few milestones of your life till now, because you're still in college and you may have possibly not even worked yet, you mention it in some or the other way on your LinkedIn profile. After you put your education correctly, you make sure that if you've done something, like even a small work, make it sound big. That's what advertising and media is. You have to make noise about yourself, about what you've done, about why. I mean, make it heard. So even if you've done a single small simple thing, make sure that it is there somewhere in your profile for someone to see, and make sure it's your talking point if you haven't done much, in order to get some eyes on you. Okay, you can choose volunteers, you can choose to put it as a post, you can choose to do anything, but make sure whatever little you've done is present somewhere on your LinkedIn. Keep liking, congratulating, and adding people from the network to network. For example, today you know me, you will go on LinkedIn and possibly find me to connect with me. Go to my LinkedIn, go to my profile and see the people I am connected with and find more recruiters from there. That's how you become big in your network, because otherwise you wouldn't know names, right? You will know only if you have reached out to somebody who is already in the system. Someone else could have come for a lecture, or somebody else that you know. Go to their profiles, see the people they are following or the people they are connected with, and then reach out to them from there. Okay, so that helps you build beyond the person that you know from one person. Other important thing for LinkedIn is that keep checking your messages, and please do not just say hi and leave that chat. Many people do that. They say hi, nice connecting, thanks for connecting. It's bullshit. Don't do that. Don't spam people's profiles the moment you're connected with them. Talk to them when it is required, and talk to them in a small paragraph, in a very simple detailed form of what you need from them. Please don't just randomly keep doing hi WhatsApp with people. It's not a chatting place. It is for you to get a job. So yeah, that is the part I wanted to cover for LinkedIn ethics. Please move forward. And it's something that now is important, is content. We say content is king, but in your case or in our case, content is our portfolio. Even if you're making a simple reel, or if you're making a simple IGTV, or you're just composing a photo, that is the content that you're making. There's a certain intent of the content that you're making, right? That is going to be also your portfolio, also the way people see you, and also the way you understand the exchange of graphics, media, audio, visual in this world. So whatever content you put out there, okay, is very, very crucial for you to know that it could be your, chance of a portfolio someday. So keep your content aligned with these few points that I'm going to talk ahead about. Please move the slide. Right. So these few questions, that I've put, why, how, what, these questions will always come to you, and they are the best way of answering the thing that you want to say and do. Always remember that. Now here, so if you are putting a content out in your social media platforms, what is the intent? Okay, are you doing this for just personal validation, or are you doing this to attract some eyeballs from people who could possibly help you with some other things? Or are you putting this out there for people to see how talented you are and possibly have a snowball effect of being shared with more people, content being shared with more people? What is the intent? Is the intent education? Is the intent just satisfying your creative kick, or is it to possibly just have nothing to do with the world and you just felt like and you did it? What is your intent? That should be important and clear. Okay. Messaging, what are you saying in the content that you're putting out? Is that content going to really benefit somebody? Is that a perspective that you're putting? Is the messaging really a piece of information from borrowed places on internet, or is that your personal opinion? Is the messaging to change somebody's point of view on something, or is that messaging just to inform somebody of the new things you're doing? Whatever is your messaging, it's important. It's put out, like your content should have some messaging which one, once is done watching, knows why they have watched that. Okay. And I will tell you why I'm saying this just after I finish this. Production. We are blessed today to have better cameras than our times when we had like 2 MP cameras and were only friends with people who have DSLRs, because that's how we thought production, quality would be great of whatever we do. But today, that's not the thing. We are blessed to have phones that have really good, cameras and really good ways of recording audios, etc., or good lighting. The production quality of your content is also very important on social media. It explains and shows people of how well you understand the things that are required to make a certain picture, video, or content out there. Then engagement. If your content is out there, how are people engaging and replying to it? Are you taking their feedback if they are giving any feedback? Are you only putting it out for yourself, or are you putting it out to be heard and known and making sure that 10 more people share that content of yours, right? And the relevancy of the time. If in case it is relevant to a particular day, like chocolate day or something, are you putting it for that, or for what is it that you're doing? When are you doing it? Is it relevant in the time you're doing it? If you have picked up a trend today to do it, but it has already lost relevancy some 3 months back, it will not get picked. The reason why this is important for your personal branding is because this reflects a lot about how you are going to solve a brief. If you look at it very closely, all these points that I've mentioned are typically the questions that one would have when they get a brief. For example, why is the brief here? What is the messaging to be put? How are you going to achieve that? Where, which media, which platform is it going to be? And what is the reason? When is the relevancy? Like, when is it relevant for you to put that out? When you start doing these things for your own self and build your brand according to that, when you are in a workplace and are dealing with similar things, it helps your mind break down things in a certain way like this. And that's just from personal learning. And I really thought this is important, and nobody really talks about something like that. And people do notice and get picked with, information like this, and then don't know how to process. So Yeah. Coming to, what do the industry specialists or people in the world have to say when you join as a fresher? Can you move the slide ahead? Sorry, before that, very important. And I know that you all might be really wondering why our project's over here. But trust me, it has really helped a lot of people with no job to at least showcase the projects that they have done in their portfolio and resume. So don't take that very lightly. BMM or media is a space that allows you to be really practical with your projects, and it is important that you really adhere to what you're doing with that, because that's what is technically going to be the rest of your life. You are going to practice the same thing in some or the other format in the future. So the way you address your projects, the way, like somebody mentioned that they got bored with doing what they were doing on digital marketing. Trust me, do different projects like these. Take them as your personal project. Take them as your personal agenda to do good. Add them in your resume, make a better portfolio, and reach out to more places to hire you. And in case you find that the project is really, something that is not helping you get your best talent out, talk to your professors. I'm telling you, in our time, we had brilliant projects from different, like two of the favorite teachers that I had were Shubha ma'am and Kiran ma'am. I don't know if you guys have still interacted with them yet. Their consumer behavior projects, their brand building projects, or even ad design that we had back then. All these projects helped me understand and make my portfolio in a certain way when I went out. And hear me out, I did not really have as many great things to do. And I had means of internships of the things I've done, but the contribution was not as much. So my projects helped me back that up. I made a great resume, spammed HRs wherever possible of the 5, 6, or whatever number of places that I wanted to do, made a list, made a contact list, reached out to them, made sure I followed up every time there was an opportunity. And that's how I landed in Low Lintas without any placement help from anywhere else. It was as simple as that. My projects and my personal learnings from those projects helped, because when you are a fresher, you will not really have much work ex, but what you have done otherwise is what is going to speak for you. So if you have done something which is remarkably great in your project, put that out, talk about what you learned when you did this, and that itself will show people that what, if given a challenge, what you would do. So yeah, let's jump into what the industry people have to say when you join as a fresher. Next slide, please. Yeah, next slide. So these, I'll leave you to read them. Take 2 minutes, soak what is written here. And these are really those people who have made big under 30. Two of them have, that you see on the top. These women also started out like you and me, and how they've made big. Then Neville Shah, if you guys may know, the stand-up, comic. And the HR by herself, Ogilvy HR. So maybe just take a minute and read what they have to say. And then we can proceed to the questions that you guys may have and then end the session.
Naman?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can start with the question answer session.
Okay. So, ma'am, before anyone else go ahead, I myself had a question. Um, yeah. So, myself, a huge cricket fanatic, a sports fanatic, I would say. So, when I went through your profile that the sir gave me, I read that you work with Piyush sir on ICC Women's Cricket. So,
Yeah.
Can you tell me something? What should be the pathway if I want to somehow merge the two circles of ad and sport? So what's the meeting
Want to
point?
merge? Sorry, I couldn't hear. Want to merge?
I wanted to know what's the like reaching point if you want to merge the two circles, one of ad and one is of sport. So where do these two combine and how do we get there?
Okay, so for people who are interested in sports, that advertising and marketing is something that they want to be in, but they love sports, there are certain agencies that only take sports clients. For example, there's one called Sports Interactive. Okay. Then there are client-side agencies, client-side companies like Star Sports or any of these, who are also working with smaller agencies in order to get some of their content out. So Sports Interactive is one place where you will have the both circles joined there. Second place that you could, second thing that you could do is Google and just check, just type Star Sports latest campaign or Star Sports advertising. Find the articles where it's written that who did that advertising, and then go there and apply in those places.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think we have Vashwesh. Yes, you can go with the question.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, ma'am. Good morning. I just want to ask, what are the chances of getting into big firms like Ogilvy or Lowell Lintas or Dentsu? I mean, when you're starting as a fresher, so what are the chances that you can get hired by them, and
Okay.
especially in the creative department?
Got it. So I'll break this question down into two. Chances. Okay. So if you're going to play a game of probability, it is 50-50. But if you're going to make sure that you have made your self-equipped enough to be a part of this bigger game, then your chances are higher, because then you have an upper hand of the things that you're doing. Now, first thing first is, if you are in the creative side, make sure that you have a portfolio ready. Now that can be done on these websites called as Behance, or you could have your own Google Drive with everything, every project that you've done, where you've done some creative work. And you could also possibly have, let's say, your Instagram as a avenue of your portfolio, where you may have put out something, I'm sure, because if you are creative, you will end up releasing that creativity in some or the other platform. Use that as your tool and your bunch of things to keep when you are applying for a job. And also, it's important, see, most of these places do not really hire freshers immediately for creatives. So work for the first year or something in a smaller place, or in a place that you think is giving you that exposure. Like, or you can also, one thing that I noticed and I saw that people are doing, example, social samosa. Okay. Or even your Zomato, Swiggy, wherever you see the content really getting rolled out high. Make USG content, make user generated content. Okay, make something, keep tagging them, be known, make those your creativity come out and be heard. If you have that, and if you can do that in the next 1 year's time in some or the other way, adding those feathers, with such you can always brand and say that, hey, I was mentioned in so and so place. Hey, you know what, Zomato retweeted my tweet because they really like the way I write. Or somebody reposted my story or whatever, my post, because they really liked this creative. I still remember when the entire WhatsApp versus what was that other messaging software that was doing rounds, when we came to know that WhatsApp might have privacy issues.
Telegram.
And there was one more.
Signal.
So there was one guy, random Tamilian somewhere sitting in TN or something, okay, who made an ad of Signal, which did rounds of social media, okay, and it wasn't even an ad done by Signal. It was done by this random individual sitting somewhere. He got noticed, and this is all chances. You're talking about chances, right? He did something, he got his chance, and now he has offers lying from bigger agencies to work with him because of the way that one ad was so powerful. So it is really a ball game, changing game. If you put yourself, make your best version, don't be a creep. Really make yourself equipped with all that you have and know, put it all down together, reach out to the right people, keep trying, keep patient, stay patient. Just stay patient for the next 2 years of your life, all of you. Please don't be disheartened, because there are so many of you passing out every year, and some of them not even with the industry, but still trying to get in, right? So start with small baby steps, do your homework, be your best version, then reach out to the bigger places, and then there will be no reason why they shouldn't get you, unless you have really a personality that has screwed up. That is something you have to build on. So yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I had one more follow-up question after this.
Sure.
Will a postgraduate degree in advertising or something related to media help me get into the industry?
See, I have done a post graduation. It definitely helped me in networking and understanding what I wanted. But it is very, very, very subjective. One thing for sure is that nobody, when you're starting, is going to ask you if you have a post graduation degree. That will only come in the moving up ladder, when that becomes a point of consideration for your, promotions or for switching up places, and that becomes a point of thing. But in the start, if you're not very sure about what your calling is, best to work for 1 year, 2 years, then do a post grad or whichever course that you think will help you, and then go ahead. But first work. There have been times, and I know from my circle, who have done post graduation of one particular subject that they really were passionate and thought that this is for them, but now are doing completely different things in their lives. And then they wish to go back and be like, I wish I worked so that I knew. So I would suggest that it's a personal choice, though, at the end of it.
Got it. Thank you so much, ma'am.
No problem.
Thank you, Vishwesh. Rohit, you can go for your question.
Hello, ma'am.
Naman, Rohit, hi. Naman, last 2 questions. So one from Rohit and one more.
Okay.
Sure.
हेलो मैम मैम अभी तक जो जितनी अभी तक एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखी है हमने जितना भी मेरी ऑब्जर्वेंस और अंडरस्टैंडिंग रही है, तो जब कोई प्रोडक्ट की बात होती है तो हम उसको मतलब जो भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट होती है उनको ह्यूमन लाइफ से कनेक्ट करके दिखाया जाता है, मतलब उसको ताकि मोर रिलेटेबल बना देने के लिए प्रोडक्ट को. बट इफ यू टॉक अबाउट मूवीज, जब हम मूवीज की एडवर्टाइजमेंट करनी हो तब मतलब अगर नॉन कास्ट है तब समझ आता है कि वो बड़े चेहरे जो फेसेस होते हैं फिल्म मूवीज के उनको यूज करते हैं एडवर्टाइजमेंट करने के लिए. बट अगर उसमें नॉन फेस नहीं है, जैसे स्पेसिफिक प्रोजेक्ट कोई आता है जिसमें एक मूवीज है, इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म मान लो, या कोई भी ऐसी फिल्म जिसमें कोई नॉन फेस नहीं है, तो उस टाइम पे उस मूवी की एडवर्टाइजमेंट करने के लिए उसको मतलब ऑडियंस को ये फील कराने के लिए कि यार यू मस्ट गो एंड वॉच, तो वहां पे आप क्या मतलब हमें किस पॉइंट्स पे ऐसा फोकस करना चाहिए अकॉर्डिंग टू यू?
So, where is this, whatever that you're talking about, is this backed up by a production house which is known enough?
Just an independent film, no like.
Shubhita,
Okay.
Shubhita, actually, yeah. So now when you were there was just BMM, but now we also have BA, FT and MP, Film, TV and New Media Production. So their students are also here. So that is why this Rohit is talking from, a film point of view.
Got it.
So if you can,
Yeah, so I wouldn't be the best person to answer this, but in my opinion, what you can do is that, there are different brand collaborations that you could have in and around your film. Okay, like reach out to different. See, before all of that, agar koi fest hota hai, to how do you break it down? You have a sponsorship, like a team that works on the sponsorship. You tell them why should your entire film should have some kind of reach. It should have some kind of gravity that is going to help you get that kind of collaboration or a medium. So I think that is very important for you to first understand कि आप ये कहाँ ये play होने वाला है, किसके पास जाने वाला है, उस हिसाब से आपकी TG कौन है, उसके रास्ते में आप who are the people or the brands that you can collaborate with and use their platform to sort of talk about your offering. That's what I think, but honestly, I wouldn't be the best person to answer that. So I don't want to confuse you in your thought process.
Thank you, Rohit. Ma'am, I think before ending, let's have one more question, which is like, even I wanted to go for it, that like in the modern time, in the current time, I would say, when we are struck by COVID, most of us can't leave houses due to restrictions or anything else. What is that one thing that media students, or we should just focus on ad because this is already about an ad. So what is something ad students should do, or what would be some words of wisdom for them going forward through these times?
Got it. So, first of all, see, BMM or in advertising, wherever media at large is a very practically driven system. But because we are not really a part of that and we're not seeing that in our day-to-day life, you have a lot of time to ponder upon tutorials and things to chisel yourself out. This is the best time to make, like I said, your personal brand and make content which is generated by you, so that you are owning a space out there and making yourself day in, day out much more, accessible to the world out there. So by the time this ends, and if and when it does, you will be a better version of yourself. You would have had your own understanding of things. You would have made yourself so equipped that when you reach out to a recruiter, you have so much to say and do and offer that, it's easier for you to pave your way through. It's okay. Pandemic is not the end of it. In fact, now I have seen so many people actually be interested in, taking up their hobbies, and turning a hobby into a, profession is a good thing. So do that. And read. Please read, everybody. Please read. Read anything and everything, but just read.
I think that's the best way to gain information on everything, reading.
Yeah. Read and form your perspective. Just don't read it and then forget about it. Like, read books. And I know most of us may not like doing that, especially today's people. My sister also does not like reading books. She must be your age. But forget reading books, but read agency FAQs, read brand equity, make a list, while you're doing all this, make a list of the places you want to be in. Trust me, the moment it is kind of put in a certain format, your brain will follow it in a certain format to reach it also. Otherwise, it's all going to be vague and wishful thinking. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before we end it, Deepak sir, I would like you to say something.
Yeah, so it was a wonderful session, Shubhita, and let's minus the technical flaws that we had. Otherwise, it was just perfect for all the students, and you answered a lot of queries, plus you gave them a lot of insights, and actually you gave them something that they were looking for. As you put them in yourself, you put yourself into their shoes, and then you spoke all the things. So brilliant job, brilliantly done, Shubhita, and many blessings from our side. Keep glowing, keep shining. So on behalf of Department of Media and Communication, Thakur College of Science and Commerce, we would really like to thank you for coming and delivering this lecture. And now we are doing it every year. Okay, so next year also, when the students come, you have to come and you have to guide them in this way, because this is, as we have called this lecture, the right step. So these are the baby steps they have to take before they enter the huge world of advertising and entertainment. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Shubhita.
Thank you, everybody, for joining and putting in your time here. Means a lot. Thank you, DKD sir. Thanks, Naman, for being the tech help and everything today. And everybody else who switched off and, took time to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And guys, when I group pe feedback form bheja hai, please fill up that feedback form. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good